Hey guys, photo share and discussion number 57 is now live. I don't know who's going to show up this week or not. We'll see. I thought we had a couple people maybe just watching. I don't know if anybody else is going to join in, but we're going to barrel ahead here. I've got some images were posted to the Flickr group, and then I also want to just go through. Once we go through that, I want to go through some images from a photo walk that a group of us here in Atlanta did last week at a historic cemetery, and got the Google event page for that, and kind of go through and maybe just a good opportunity to talk about photographing or doing photography in cemeteries, because there's a lot of neat things to photograph in cemeteries, and there's some good photographers that were there last week. I got a couple images from that, and but there was lots of other ones that are very interesting. So maybe we'll kind of dig into that a little bit. But I think cemeteries, especially old ones, if there's some historic stuff involved with them, are a great opportunity for photography. So go ahead and do that. If any of you are watching live and you have any questions or anything like that, you can pose questions. I've also got the chat option as well. And once this posts, it'll go to YouTube. So any of you guys that are watching after the live date, any comments or whatever, I'll try to answer them as many as I can as you guys post them. And for anybody who wants to join in these live hangouts, I try to do them every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That might change. We've had a couple scheduling conflicts, so that might change. But regardless, if you're interested in participating, just go ahead and follow Mark's Photography Spot, the page on Google+, and I'll go ahead and add you back in to the circle that I notify whenever we are doing one of these live hangouts. So we will go from there. But I want to jump into the images. We've got a few posted to the Flickr group. Not a lot this week. I don't know, maybe a week was busy for everybody. But I want to go ahead and jump over to that. I think I'll always start, get this, make sure it works. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start the screen share here, and then go through and talk about the images. So go there, and we'll get this going, maybe. Here we go, screen share. There we go. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. Looks like everybody can. The last image we discussed last week was a portrait of Jenny, submitted by our good friend Joe D, portrait photographer extraordinaire, doing a great job, getting some great models, doing a very good job. So this is one of my favorite shots from Joe. Did a really good job. I love her eyes. Very beautiful woman. Nice shot. Good lighting. No complaints. I can't complain about it all. So very good job. And it's always nice to see good portrait shots, because that's something definitely that I'm not good at. Although I'd like to try it at some point. Okay. First image, new image this week, is by Shashank Sharma. And this looks like maybe an orchid, I believe that is, taken with a D5000. F2.8, 1/800th of a second, so wide open aperture. That's the nice blurring bokeh in the background. It's always nice to see that. Let's go ahead and see. And very nice, black and white, probably converted. Doesn't say what he used to convert. Maybe Lightroom, I believe, is what he uses. ISO 200. Okay, yeah. It's got a kind of a dreamlike quality to it. I guess this is a bloom behind this one here. Kind of gives a neat little ethereal cloud effect, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it was blowing a little bit in the wind, but we got some nice motion, some nice blurring here. Obviously focused right in on the middle of the flower, so the stuff up front was sticking out is out of focus a little bit. Um, that's a neat shot. And I think this is one of those that is probably better in black and white than color. It just feels, I don't know what the color version was, but this is very nice in black and white. And it kind of looks like a little bit of a mirror image. And there's Joe D, maybe joining us. Let's see if he's in. I'm going to stop the screen share here and catch up with Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's up, Mark? I'm, hold on, let me, can you hear me? Except
yeah, I can
for
hear
the
you.
darn music.
Yeah.
I have to, there we go. I have to pump out this sample real quick because I just finished this shoot.
Oh, cool.
An hour ago, so I'm trying to get this out to her real fast.
Okay.
But I could finish it later, actually.
Okay.
I don't know how this is going to affect my computer because the smart previews are still building.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that sucks up a lot of CPU power.
And
there you go.
it does, yeah. So it's barely on 170 of 700 images. So
Ooh.
I went a little shoot happy today. So
700 images in a shoot, Joe? Thank God for digital.
yeah, 730.
That's all I gotta say.
733 to be exact. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no. Yeah. No. You're absolutely right. You know it. She was. I don't think she'd mind me talking about her. She was pretty open. An incredibly fit lady. A real stocky kind of fit, not a slender kind of fit like this.
Mm-hmm.
A real stocky kind of fit, you know.
Okay.
And she was really into abstract. She was like, yeah, no, I'm down to do abstract. So I was like, oh my God. So I just shot so much abstract with her. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
She had these perfect, really, really curvy figure, real short and real curvy. So
okay.
And just built like a rock, though. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah,
so
solid.
it was so much fun. Greased her up, shot the oil on top of the shot the water on top of the grease, on top of the oil. I call it grease,
Yeah.
but you know, got those nice you know, water bubbles all over her you know, skin and all shiny from the oily and from the oil, and just some cool abstract stuff, man.
Okay.
So yeah, I went kind of nuts on that.
I was just.
I was like,
thinking,
oh, cool! I could shoot this part of your body and that part of your body.
Yeah, that's only 20 rolls of film. You know, just think if you had a film camera, you'd be running through. That'd be 20 rolls, like 20 rolls of 36 exposure film. You would have had to go through to get that many shots.
Oh my God! You know what? You wouldn't do it.
No, you wouldn't. You might do 5 or 6 rolls. You might end up with 150. You know, maybe 5 or 6 rolls. Well, you'd have two. To do it, you probably have to have 2 camera bodies, and you have an assistant that would be swapping out film for you. You know, as you
yeah,
would.
Yeah, maybe even a third body.
Yeah, yep. You'd have 2, and then they'd be switching out one of them as you went. Yeah, yep. But you can do it. I'll do it with one camera now, and a couple memory cards, and you're good to go.
I switch cameras a lot during a shoot. I really do. Especially this one. I shot more with my 24-70 than I have in a long time.
Okay.
Just it was that kind of. I used a lot of hard light in this shoot as well. She just had a certain look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just one of them deals. You know, certain people, you start shooting them and you just run into certain looks. I think I'm getting lag from this computer, huh?
You're not too bad. You're a couple seconds behind, but not too bad. Not too bad. So you have.
I could sign in. I could sign in with my other computer.
Oh, if you want. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you want to do that. It sounds like it's going to take a while to build those previews.
Yeah, it is actually. It'll take. It does. You know, on my machine, you know, it's a 2008, and you know.
Yeah.
This is the time when I'd have a few beers.
Yeah. You
you know,
build full size
you know,
previews.
by the time I'm done, yeah, and you know what? I know some people throw away their previews. Man, I hold on to them because of this slow machine. It allows me to just go ahead and once those previews are built, it's real important for me because once they're built, I love Lightroom for this. I can just uh, unmount my hard drive and and
Oh.
and just totally be totally mobile at that point. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you
I can
build the
get my
previews and
laptop and
save
go
it
to
to
the
the hard drive.
local.
Yeah.
So it works out good for me. That's how it works out for me. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's everybody does it
But yeah,
different, and
I
Lightroom
think I
has
will
one
get
up.
that other.
Oh, okay.
I'll get that other computer. I'll stay here, but I'll sign in on the other one too. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'll just blab on a little bit here while you switch computers. Um, so as you can see, Joe just finished the shoot and is in the process of taking 700 images and dropping them into Lightroom, building out the full-size previews, which does suck up um, a lot of CPU cycles, a lot of swapping back and forth memory, and Lightroom allows you to do it. So, but it does take a while. But like Joe said, I think the advantage is once you build those full-size previews, if you keep them, they're there, and you can disconnect the card or the hard drive, and there you go. You are set. So it's definitely an advantage. And I've been using Lightroom myself for pretty much ever since I got back into photography, so since 2011, and there's still a lot that I have to learn. I mean, I've got it. I use it for what I use it for, but I probably haven't optimized it as much as I can. I apologize for the cough, and we had it was an expensive day at the Cinderson household today. Very expensive. We had air conditioner. Uh, we have two air conditioners in this house. One in the basement that kind of takes care of the first level, and we got a smaller unit that's up in the attic. Up here, on my office is on the second floor, and that unit, the air conditioning went out last year, actually a year and a half ago. Yes, and I knew it would be expensive to replace. So what I'd done for the last summer and a half was get one of those portable room air conditioners, and because nobody visits us in the summer, and it's just Pam and I, so we don't have kids, so the bedrooms up here don't get used unless people are visiting us, and most people visit fall, winter, and spring. So nobody really comes in the summer because it's just too damn hot and humid. But so I was saving up money, and today was the day I had the air conditioner installed. So the guys were here. They just left a few minutes ago, actually. Took out the old system, put in the new one, rang the cash register, a couple thousand, multi-thousand dollars went out of the bank account. So it was a very expensive day. But while they were swapping out the air conditioner, we had to kind of stay home in case they had questions or needed something. So I took the opportunity to do a lot of the hard work today, and that involved me going around the backyard and taking down all the ivy off of the trees, and the dust and bark particles and all kinds of stuff. So I inhaled probably some pine bark and lots of pollen. We're kind of at the end of pollen season, so there's still a lot of pollen and stuff. So I've got just junk in my throat, but got a lot of yard work done. Spent a bunch of money. I guess it's all good. The good thing is they're going to have a nice, cool um, office area here this summer. Got a little hot last summer. The portable air conditioner worked okay, but on those really hot and humid days, when we get 90 degrees and 90% humidity, got a little hot. So, but it was a very expensive day today. Um, wrote a nice big check, but fortunately, been saving up for it for the last 18 months, really, since it broke in like June of 2012. So from June 2012, the rest of that summer, all last year, I used the portable air conditioner, but I just was ready to replace it. We don't need the heater that much up here. we get the leak, heat leakage from the bottom. The first floor comes up here and keeps things pretty warm up here, even on relatively cold days, at least for Atlanta. It doesn't get super cold, but it was just time to replace it. So spent a bunch of money, got a bunch of yard work done, got a bunch of junk in my throat. So we are back, I guess, and ready to roll. So there you go. You back, Joe?
Okay. I had to get a drink. And most every time I put ice in something, it's a mixed beverage. I'm off tonight, so.
Okay. So what are you having?
Well, what would be basically a Crown and Coke, but I guess it's the Costco.
Oh, okay.
The
Costco Canadian whiskey.
The Costco. Right.
Good stuff. That's
it's. I can't keep a bottle in the house as big as they are. I mean, it just is really. It's like a session beer.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
It's the session whiskey, really.
Yeah. I was talking to my brother last night. He's been getting into bourbons and whiskeys, and I'm like, oh man, you got to go to Costco and get some of their bourbon. He's like, they don't sell it at Costco here. Pennsylvania's got all those wacky liquor laws. They sell the liquor through the state store.
Oh man.
I'm like, you're missing out. It's for $18 for a liter or whatever they charge for it. I said it's as good as a $40 bottle of Kentucky bourbon. And it's good, just a good solid bourbon. And speaking of, I'll probably get another bottle of
that. Make all this talking about it's making me thirsty. Damn it.
I'm out. I finished up my last bottle maybe 3 weeks ago, and I've just been so busy and just drinking beer. But talking to my brother last night, he was talking about all the ones he was trying, and it's like, oh, that sounds good. I need a bottle of that. So.
It's one of them deals where see, I'm trying to get this computer fired up. It's one of them deals where, I'm down to my last, I would say, 4 fingers in that bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And man, darn it. Sometimes these auto login things are just a pain in the ass,
Yeah. You use a password manager.
Keep denying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now there's something planned. This won't let me sign in, and I'm trying to shut down what's. Oh dear God, this is a nightmare. See, this is where. This is exactly why tab heads like myself pay the price, because if you so happen to shut down your browser in the middle of having 10 tabs open, it's trying to do all that same stuff again. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
so
exactly. Yeah.
This is where
I try to limit myself to 5 tabs at any one time. It's tough though, because you can just keep clicking on stuff.
I'm trying to cut back.
I'm on the 12-step program for tab head. The first step is to admit you have a problem.
I'm trying to keep it down.
Hi, my name's Joe, and I'm a tab head.
Yes. I don't know if I'm willing to quit though. Like, I really don't. I'm enjoying my tab-olicious life.
Yes. Yeah. I was doing fine last night. I only had 5 tabs open, but then I opened up this page that had a bunch of links in it. Before you know it, I had 20, and I just fell off the wagon. I couldn't do it anymore.
It's hilarious, and don't let me get a new computer. If I were to get a new computer that can handle all them damn tabs, forget about it. Yeah. It's over.
Well, you would just keep opening more tabs. To whatever computer you got, however fast it would be, you just open up enough tabs to slow it down the same amount as you are now.
That's right. Yeah, no, it would just be
It'd be exactly the same.
Tab bliss.
Yes. So I didn't. I don't know if you heard while you're switching computers. I was telling everybody that it was a very expensive day at the Cinderson household today. So.
Boy.
We had to replace an air conditioning system that's been down for the last year. So I
ouch.
Yeah.
That's a $5,000 day.
Yeah, just under. I got a deal.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I got a deal for you.
yeah, yeah. So no, it's been out. I don't know if you remember like last summer and even the summer before, we were doing like the share beers or stuff. It was really loud up here. It's because I had a portable air conditioner that I bought that was just taking care of this room
Oh,
because this is just the upstairs and there's really just two bedrooms, a hallway, and a bathroom. So the air conditioner went out like in June of 2012, and I'm like, well, I'm not paying $4,000 for an air conditioner.
yeah.
I'm just gonna get a portable one. So I went to Costco, got a portable one, and it worked. But I'm like, okay, we're coming up on another summer, and it's time to replace it. So I spent the last 18 months saving up
Oh,
for it. Instead of a new camera, instead of that new 7D or whatever, I got an air conditioner.
dude, that sucks too because you're talking a lot of gear. I mean, you could really
Oh
get,
man! Oh, I could have.
you
I
know,
could have gotten. Oh, I could have gotten a new the new 7D, probably that sweet. What is it? The 35 millimeter Sigma f1.4, and
yeah, the
I,
50.
yeah, yeah, and probably a nice macro lens, and still had a couple $1,000s left. But instead,
Instead, yeah, you know. You know what sucks is that you absolutely need the AC unit, right? I mean,
oh,
like your
we
life is going to
definitely
be
do
miserable
here.
without
We
it.
definitely
At
do
the
here.
same time, life is miserable with it because you're thinking about all the stuff you could have got with it, you know.
Yeah, that's what I told. I
So
told
it's
the
like
guy.
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I told the installer, just before we started this, I was, he was kind of showing me everything, and we're going through and doing a little checklist of everything, and I'm like, that's really nice. It looks all shiny new, but what am I going to do with it? I said, it's not. I can't have as much fun with this as I can a new car or a camera. And he goes, yeah, but at least you'll be cool. I was like, yeah, I guess you're right.
It helps when you're trying to sleep. You know,
Yeah.
that's when you most appreciate that.
Yeah. That's what sucks because this was just a system for the upstairs, and our bedroom's downstairs. So our main system, we have two systems in this house, one for upstairs and one for downstairs. And
Oh,
yeah, the downstairs one still works. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Because if that goes,
yeah.
I'm buying Instamatic, disposable cameras because I won't be able to afford anything for a while. So that one downstairs has
I
got to
know the
go
feeling.
for another 3 or 4 years. I mean, that's the plan.
Oh, and I totally know that feeling, man. It is just, yeah, if you have one more thing go wrong, you're on on a shoestring right here,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah. It goes under the jaws
come
of.
on, man, help me out here.
Oh, man. That's I kind of planned for this one. I knew I was going to have to replace it, so I've been saving for it for a year and a half, and suffering last summer with it being a little bit too warm. But I start saving for the downstairs one, and
Okay,
that's been
Mark,
about 3 years.
I'm gonna sign out here and then
Okay.
jump in on the other computer. So
Okay. Sounds good.
a few minutes here.
All right.
All right.
So anyway, so you guys that are watching after the fact thought this was photography. It's actually heating and air conditioning talk. So if you guys are looking for a new air conditioner, but yeah, we'll wait for Joe to pop back in here, and we'll go through the images and then talk a little bit about cemetery photography. I'll talk a little bit about it now, and we'll get in, and I'll kind of go through some of the images that our group shot at the Oakland Cemetery, which for those of you that aren't familiar with Atlanta, the Oakland Cemetery is one of the older cemeteries in Atlanta. It's on a little ridge above the city, so you're able to look down onto downtown. It's up on a little ridge, and the cemetery originally, I think it started in 1870, but during the Civil War, during the shelling of Atlanta, when Sherman was bombing Atlanta, basically trying to knock the South into submission, a couple of the the generals, Confederate generals, were on the ridge where this cemetery is, watching the shelling of Atlanta. So the cemetery, I don't know, it's 45, maybe 50 acres, and obviously now totally surrounded by development, but it's got a lot of real historic grave sites, a lot of historic families, and some historic people are buried there. Margaret Mitchell, the lady who wrote Gone with the Wind, is buried there. Bobby Jones, the golfer, for any of you that are into golf, Bobby Jones is buried there. There are lots of 3 or 4 Confederate generals buried there. A lot of Confederate soldiers, obviously, buried there, but there's also a lot of Union soldiers that are buried there as well. A lot of prominent families from Atlanta, from the 1850s through the present day. So there's just a lot of history there, and a group of photographers here in Atlanta, try to get together, try to organize a photo walk, maybe once every month or two, and got together and spent last Saturday morning going through and just walking around Oakland Cemetery and photographing whatever we saw, and it's just a lot of history there. And I took my my Rolleicord with some black and white film, and we'll show. I posted a couple of those images to the Flickr group here, and I just took my T3i with the 15 to 85 lens, which is kind of my standard lens. It's a really nice Canon lens, not an L lens, but 15 to 85, which is a good walk-around lens. And then I also took the fisheye lens. I haven't posted any images from that yet. I'm still working through it, but there was 15 of us, so got a lot of images. I thought the black and white film would go good for some of the grave markers and that type of thing, and it did. I got a couple of pretty good shots. I've still got a couple that I'm working on that I'll probably post in the next week or so. But there's just a lot of history in cemeteries. So for those of you that maybe haven't photographed cemeteries, take a walk to something close by, or maybe if you've got an older or more historic cemetery in your area that has a lot of big monuments, big headstones, elaborate, ornate headstones and monuments. Take advantage, because there's just a lot of cool angles, a lot of neat things that you can photograph in a cemetery. So, and all of you are dying to shoot in a cemetery. I just have to say that. So, hey, looks like Joe's back. Maybe.
It says
Oh, you're there. I don't know if you're lagging a little bit. There you are. He's sucking up all his bandwidth.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
There you are. Yep. I think there's
Cool.
just
It said my microphone was muted, so I didn't know.
Okay. No, you're good. I was just talking about photographing cemeteries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a couple images. We did a photo walk. A group of us did a photo walk in an historic cemetery here in Atlanta last week. So those are the images that I posted to the Flickr group were from that, and then I thought maybe I'd go in and kind of go through some of the other images on Google.
Well, let me get to that. I'm in Flickr, but I gotta get to the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just starting to talk about Shawshank's flower. I started with your photo that you posted last week of Jenny, which is one of my favorite ones that you've done. That's just a great shot.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. What do you like about it? I'm interested in.
Oh, the lighting's good. She's just really pretty. First off, I mean, the hair, lighting. I like the hat and her eyes. I mean, you do a really good job in her eyes, and then she's just got a nice look about her. It's just I kind of like the girl next door kind of look,
Ah, okay, yeah.
Just yeah, just like she came from Iowa somewhere and just
Yeah, yeah, 'cause she's not like knock you down gorgeous.
no,
She's just cute.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's cute. I mean, she's pretty, but she's not like supermodel, I guess. But
right.
she's a pretty girl, and she's just she. My impression is that she's probably just a really straightforward girl.
Yeah, she graduated from college when I shot this.
Okay.
She was actually we shot this actually right before her ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right. UNM.
yeah, so she got her
Mm-hmm.
bachelor's degree at UNM.
Okay.
Smart
Cool.
kid. I mean, matter of fact, let me see if I can. Oops, I'm getting my mouses all mixed up here.
Okay.
uh, let me see if I can switch cameras here, and if I can, yeah. Um, yeah.
No. There you are.
So th this picture right here that's actually on my screen,
Uh-huh.
that's Jenny.
Oh, that's the lower half of Jenny.
Yeah, that's the other part.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Not
got
quite so innocent.
that
Yeah.
kind of figure to her, man.
Yeah.
She's insane. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that gal has
She's a very pretty girl, and I just like the lighting. The the hat is kind of cool. The eyes. I mean, kind of how the hat's kind of tilted down over the left side of her face. The eye, and yeah, it's a really nice shot.
I
So.
just I was just curious because I've gotten a lot of response on this image, and
Mhm.
I shot it a while ago already. It's oh, when did I shoot it? I don't know, September, something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and I actually did this natural light. Um,
So it's a window over there then,
yeah,
or
there's
something
a
like that.
window to her, well, to the camera left,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah, so we shot available light.
Mhm.
Um, in that same area where I shoot the mirror shot, where I shoot with that mirror,
Mhm.
um, that's she's actually sitting right in front of it, but I'm so close that you can't quite make out that mirror over her shoulder. So, um, but that's and
Yeah.
I always, matter of fact, I just shot that a second ago. I just shot it an hour or so ago, and yeah, I had my usual two lights. I even upped my game on my lighting now. I went from a 70 watt. Oh, dude, have you seen the size of these continuous lights? Would you like to see the
Yes.
size of these
I would
things?
love to see the size of your light, Joe.
You want to see mine? I got a big white one.
Yeah. Show you mine. I'll show you yours.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe it. Mine's big and white. Hold on. It'll take me a few minutes, but I'll get a few of them,
Okay.
and you can see the difference in these constant light kits that you'll get. Okay,
Okay.
so
All
hold
right.
on.
That's very interesting because that is definitely one thing I have not done anything with from photography is lighting. Done all available light for or flash every once in a while, but pretty much just available light on all the photography I've done really in the last 3 years. So, but most of the stuff I do is outside. I'm not doing portraits. I'm doing landscapes or still life or architecture, buildings, cars, that type of thing. So I'm pretty much clueless when it comes to lighting and how to use it and when to use it, what works, what doesn't, that type of thing. So it'd be very, very interesting. And Joe, as a portrait photographer or people photographer, lighting is it. I mean, that's one of those things that you need to have nailed down is the lighting system, whatever system it is that you're using. And I know Joe's been kind of going back and forth or trying different things and upgrading um, his capabilities from the lighting stand side of things. So very cool. Yeah, that's something I just um, haven't really got into, and it's probably because I just don't do that type of photography. I don't do portrait or people photography. I will probably get better quality flash. That's one of the things I've kind of got on my list of things to get. Photography wish list is a better flash other than just the built-in flash that I have on the T3i. So, but that's I just don't have a lot of situations where I need to do that. But I think if I had a better quality flash, it would be um, something that I would find uses for. So that's for sure. But so Joe has got his new and improved light.
Okay.
So is this
What am I
a
looking?
new upgrade for you, Joe, as far as the lighting?
I did order some new lights, and actually, I had one bite the dust. Right now, I'm gonna have to put in another order.
Oh,
One just slipped out of my hand and bit the dust, man.
oh,
Um, but and that's an expensive light. No, I mean, not too bad, but they're a little bit of a pain in the ass to get, you know.
okay.
Um, but what I'll show you, I love doing this stuff because we're all kind of curious about lights, I
Oh,
think,
yeah, I
right?
was just saying while you were getting that stuff, I said I'm pretty much totally clueless on lighting, other than, there's the sun, there we go. That's
Right. Yeah, and I think a lot of us are. So, if like I did in that, let me switch cameras so you can get a better camera on this laptop sucks. There we
there
go.
we go. That's better.
Um, that's much better. Yeah, this Logitech camera is way more light sensitive, so low light sensitive. So, okay, this is a 30 watter, and this one is at 5400 Kelvin,
Okay,
and it's pretty standard size, what you're kind of used to seeing. It's just a hair, maybe a spiral and a half longer than what you would use in your house. Um,
okay,
so it's maybe a spiral and a half longer than what you would use. This one here is a 45 water, 5500 Kelvin, okay? And you can see this one's even slightly larger yet than that one,
okay. Huh.
okay? Now, I don't have a 60. I used to. I don't have a 60 anymore. And one of these just bit the dust. So
Oh,
this is one of my 70s. This is a 70 water, and this is at 5400 Kelvin. Okay,
okay.
so you
Wow.
can see the comparison to a 30 water, which would
Wow. Yeah.
which would be pretty close. And like I said, even this 30 water is about a spiral and a half larger than what you would use in your home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the main difference is that the ones you use in your home are typically made to match a light bulb, so they're going to be somewhere around 2700 Kelvin,
Yep.
um, somewhere in that neighborhood. So once you start getting into these, and that's why you kind of have to special order them and stuff. I order all my light bulbs on Amazon,
Okay.
and they do come in different temperatures. So and that's what makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the difference between the 30 and the 70.
Oh, yeah. Huge difference.
The latest bulb that I got is the 80, which is only, this is the 70. So
Okay.
it's only 15 watts more.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is at, the 80 is at, it doesn't have the Kelvin rating on it, but I'm pretty sure it's right in that same neighborhood, 5400 or 5500. And look at the size difference on that.
Jeez.
So I got to pull back from the camera to get it all in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
you
they're
can
all they're
see,
all compact fluorescent, right?
yes,
Yes. Okay.
and they get hot. Trust me, they put off a lot of juice. So you can see the difference from the bulb that would be close to what you have in your home.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's when you say 70 watt, that's 70 watts for the compact fluorescent. So that probably compared to a regular bulb, it's got to be
Oh,
what, a couple hundred watts then.
yeah, the
Yeah.
equivalent is sick. I don't even know what the equivalent is. Once you start getting past the 30 and the yeah, actually the 30, they kind of quit doing that. Like it's
Yeah. Wow. That's huge. Yeah. Big difference.
so you can see the difference. And this bad boy puts out the light, and it's like
Hmm. Yep. I'm breaking up a little bit. Joe's. Let's see. There it is. We're getting a little bit of altitude lag again, I think. You blew out Google Plus with those powerful lights. There it is. Yep. You there? Did you mute Joe or?
yeah. Okay, I'm back apparently.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, there you are.
but yeah, no. So yeah, I'm there now. So one of these, this is one of the ones that just busted on me right now. It hit the floor and
Oh,
ashes to ashes. So I'll be vacuuming that up here in a minute. But yeah, these bad boys. This one is these are the new ones that I got, and the box for these was insane. It
yeah.
came very well packaged. Um,
Oh, yeah.
four of these can run you as four of these can run you as much as $90.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
I got them on Amazon for four of them ran me somewhere around $50-$55.
Okay, yeah, so you're paying
So
about 13 bucks a pop. Yeah.
they do have 100 waters and they do have 110. So
Oh.
God only knows how big those are. Because this is a 15-watt difference between these two. Look at them.
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
15-watt difference, man. That is sick.
Yeah, it is. That's it's amazing. You wouldn't think that there would be just that little bit would be that much more.
Right. Of a
Yeah.
yeah, require that much of a size difference, and um it's it's a lot of fun though, playing with these constant lights. It's just a matter of God, these things are so sensitive. I mean, they're no different than any other fluorescent light bulb,
Yeah.
you
Now,
know.
are they starting to get LEDs that'll be comparable?
They have LEDs. Boy, you're talking a price difference though.
Yeah, yeah, I would think that just household LEDs are a lot more than fluorescents.
Yeah, you're talking a serious jump in price. I'm gonna switch cameras just in case this is what's
Okay.
tripping me up here. I don't what is, but just in case.
Yeah, you're not lagging too
I
bad
just
now.
wanted to I just wanted to show the those light bulbs and
Yeah.
the difference. So when you're ordering a light kit and or a constant light kit, a video light kit, in other words,
Hmm.
for photography, for still photography, um, that will be the difference. Is the bulbs really? You could actually just order the head and then order whatever light bulbs you wanted to put in it. It's no different than any other light bulb
Okay.
deal. So you could order a two light bulb, from a single light head all the way to a four light head or a five light head. Um, but keep in mind, once you go anything above a four, it's going to be hard to get five of these as tightly as they have them grouped on that same head.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Okay.
know?
Yeah. You just run into size. It's just
Right.
too big.
I have a four light head. It'll fit four bulbs, and for me that's just right. Um,
Hmm. Okay.
I could go almost as big a light bulb as I want.
So typically, if you've got 40, what are you usually using there? The 30 watt?
Now I'm using that 80. 80, what is
Wow.
this? 85?
Times four?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That sucker puts out some light. I'll use I can use it at 200 ISO.
Okay.
I still can't do fast motion, and that's the thing with constant lights. As long as your subject is still, you're good. If your subject starts moving, like let's say you want to do hair, like having the model flicker hair or something, you're
Yeah.
gonna need that strobe. That's when you're gonna need a strobe to
Okay.
really
To freeze the motion. Yeah.
right, right.
Hmm.
But there's tricks you can do though. You don't necessarily always want it froze. Sometimes you might want the hair to be kind of creamy, and in that case, it works out sweet.
Hmm.
Because you will get some blur in there. But the more light you have, the better your odds are of getting more detail in there.
Hmm.
So it's one of those things you just have to play with yourself.
Yeah.
But the more light you definitely have, wow. I mean, going from, God, it's 15 watts a bulb, but I mean, what a difference going from that 70 water to the 85. I mean, an amazing difference.
Wow. Yeah. Well, what was it? Was it on Twit? I mean, you watch or listen to Twit all the time.
Hmm.
Was it last week he was talking about what was he talking about? Oh, he was talking camera. He had the little section with Chris Marquardt, and they were talking about indoor lighting. And the guy was asking about what camera, and he's like, "Remember, anything indoors is low light.
Yeah.
People don't think about it.
Yep.
And like you were just saying, you need a ton of light in order to stop motion, or it's not just like walk into a room and turn on one lamp and you're good to go."
Yeah. Now, see, we did some of that today, though. I mean, I hate to say there's any hard thing you should or shouldn't do because I break the rules all the time. I play
Mm,
around with this or that. I mean, I've got, let me see, one, two, four, six, 8 lights in there.
okay.
Um, yeah, well, 8 main heads, and then each one of them can plug 4 light bulbs into it. So I have, well, I had one with all 70s on it, but now I've got to order some more. Um, but in any case, if for conversation's sake, I have one with all 70s on it. One right now because I only ordered 4 of these 85 waters, so I split the difference. I put 2 and 2, so I have two 70 waters and two 85 waters on my two big strip lights, my two big strip soft boxes. I have those on there. Um, and then for my overhead, I have all 45 waters. And for my main, the one that I'm using for my main, I have all 70 waters. Um, and I like it. I like that setup. And then I'll bring in another light or two and I have 45 waters in those uh, for some sort of fill or whatever. Um, but sometimes I'll play around with it. I'll shut various ones of them off, take the diffusers off of the soft boxes, and just use the hard light coming out of it. I really could have used, for those of you that don't know, like if you see someone's lighting setup, you typically see it with like still life photography. You'll see a lot of blackboards, a lot of whiteboards, and so forth. Those blackboards keep you from bleeding onto something. So I could have used a few of those blackboards today. It would have really helped me from keeping that light from just spilling off onto my background and kept that light just on the model. That would have been nice because I had my model get about 3 feet from my background, and so in order to light her right, I had to have the light right there, and it was spilling off into the background naturally. And it would have been nice to have had some of the I forget the term what they call those blackboards, but it would have been nice to have a couple of those to keep it from spilling onto the background.
Hmm. So yeah, they're black, so they just pretty much absorb the light. They don't reflect anything.
Right, yeah, they
Yeah.
just
Okay.
keep it from, and then and then That way, when you shoot, your background is just nice and, in my case, it would have been nice and dark, just pure
Hmm.
black. Um, and you do that, you can have your subject stay away from your background. Like we did some like typically I'll have my subject at least 10 feet, 12 feet from my background because it's wrinkled, and I'm trying to hide the wrinkles. So that's an easy way to do that, and you just use your depth of field to blur that, and then you don't see the wrinkles, and keeps your editing down to a minimum.
Yeah. You're not having to clone out a bunch of wrinkles,
Right,
basically.
right.
Yeah.
Or some people's backgrounds are dirty because they travel a lot, they're in different locations a lot, and they're using a white background. And that's typically why you'll see someone use a 70 to 200 indoors, is to blur that background.
Yeah. Shoot it at 200, and yeah, and you compress
Right,
everything and blur the
right,
background. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Glad you were able to shed some light on the situation there. Very cool. Very good. Thank you, Joe. That is Lighting with Joe. All
I
right.
know. I'm gonna probably do another one of those shows. I like doing that. That was a lot of fun. um, I wish I would have got my screen share right, but
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun because I think of doing a live show like that while you're editing, and if someone's able to jump in and ask questions, hey, I do this and I do that. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
not a Lightroom user, they can get tips on the fly. I think that is a huge hit, a huge tip, a huge help. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
um,
agree. Yeah, I think it would be very cool to do that because everybody does it different. Everybody
yeah,
uses Lightroom differently. The same tool, but you use it, or the same toolbox, you use different tools.
yeah, different ways of reaching in to get the tool, different
Mm.
ways of putting the tool away.
Yep,
And
exactly.
it's the same wrench,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody reaches for it a little differently.
Yeah.
Everybody puts it away differently, and everybody uses it differently. So,
Mm-hmm.
and light, all these pro tools, really, all of them. Uh, uh, I can't just say Adobe. All the Pro Tools, you got what Capture One and so forth. They all have probably about four different ways of doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody does it differently, so
Hmm.
it's able to fit a lot. Everybody has a different workflow and how they look at things, and
Hmm.
so it's able to adjust to it. I'm going to go to the screen share, just go through a couple of these real quick.
Absolutely.
Um, this is one I was talking about when you were joining, Joe. This was Shawshank. Looks like, what is that? Maybe a lily or something, but converted to black and white, and pretty cool. Pretty cool shot. I like it.
Now, is he a film shooter? Is this a
No,
scan?
this is a D5000, so
Okay.
it was color converted to black and white, and I don't know what software he used.
Now, what do you
Uh,
think about that? What do you think about that flower that's the main part of the attention? Is that cool with you being as soft as it is?
it is. I was saying that it's kind of like something you would see in a dream. I mean it's got that kind
I
of
got you.
feel to it, real pillowy. I
I
mean,
got you.
focus was here because you can see this stuff coming out from the flower that's out of focus, and it was
Yeah.
looks like it was maybe moving a little bit too. But so this is in focus here. Got the other flower in the background, and just completely abstract background and black and white. So it's got that, I don't know, cloud-like type of feel to it. So yeah, I mean, I think this is probably better in black and white than it would be in color.
Yeah, I got a feeling that's why he made it black and white.
Yeah,
Cause
probably. Looked at it in color, I was like, that's not so cool. Let's convert it to black and white and see what happens.
yeah, 'cause that blur is probably obvious in color.
Yeah, and it just adds to the feel in black and white. So,
Right.
uh,
But it's a great example to me of you make it black and white, add some negative clarity to it, and it gives this nice, soft, kind of dreamy feel to it, and
mm,
and it is nice. It's pleasant. It's
mhm. Yeah,
It's yeah,
it's a very relaxing image.
yeah, it is really, yeah. It's
Yeah. Yeah. And here's another one, kind of the same, along the same vein.
yeah.
Uh, Shot at 140 millimeters, f5.6, no flash. Looks like a cherry I don't know if that's a cherry blossom, but some kind of blossom on a tree. Once again, black and white.
Oh, hold on, there's someone at the door.
Okay, pizza, pizza delivery. Um, but I'll go ahead and there we go. It looks like a yeah, like a cherry blossom or something like that, and that's, and once again, I think neat in black and white. It'd be interesting to see the color version of this, um, but I think with the kind of the bare twigs sticking out here, these blooms that haven't quite popped, black and white makes a nice presentation of this. It'd be interesting to see the color one of this, whereas the other one, you said, I think I'm fine with just looking at the black and white. The color one in this might be a little interesting. This appears a little out of focus, but everything was focused right here, just by you can just see that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Neat image in black and white, and definitely shows the completely different look in black and white versus color, or vice versa. You shoot something, well, I guess if you shoot something in black and white, you don't have the option to go into color, but digital photography gives you the ability to look at either one and pretty quickly make the conversion. So this was a good opportunity for that. So nice image. All right, I'll go back here. I want to see. I don't know what he's using. Photoshop Camera Raw. One step. You've got all the EXIF information here. That's the other cool thing about digital. If you want to post it all, you can do that. That's all here. Lens ID, image number, all the information. Adobe Photoshop Camera Raw. So it looks like he was just working in Camera Raw. Camera ID, serial number, all this fun stuff. ISO 2500. Wow. Okay. And that might be the other reason to use black and white. Using such a high ISO introduces probably a little bit of noise at a minimum, and black and white might be a good way to get rid of that, or to minimize it at least. It seems like it's better. High noise comes out better in black and white than color. And with an ISO 2500, but an f5.6, in order to get a fairly quick shutter speed there of 1/500, probably had to bump up the ISO. So maybe it was a little lower light, with the combination of maybe light and the relatively small aperture that you got when you zoom in on this particular lens. In order to get a decent shutter speed to stop motion, maybe there's a little bit of a breeze or something like that, had to increase the ISO in order to get that. So nice image though. I like it, black and white. All right, another black and white image. This was one of the shots that I did last week at the Oakland Cemetery in Atlanta. I shot this with the Rolleicord, with Fuji Neopan Acros 100 speed. It was really bright day. This was 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. Not a cloud in the sky, super sunny, very nice day, 70 degrees, dry, but full-on bright sun. So black and white seemed like a good thing. I went there with the intention of shooting at least one roll of of black and white of whatever I saw that caught my eye. And this is an interesting monument. It's in kind of in the middle of the cemetery, and basically the tomb of the unknown for the Confederacy at this particular cemetery. Unknown Confederate dead, big monument. This is probably 8 feet, 10 feet long, 5 feet high, 6 feet high. I think it's marble all the way. Um, but I shot this got fairly up close. Square format I thought uh, fit the scene pretty well. Tried to frame it to get the unknown Confederate dead to kind of go across the bottom. I wanted to get the carving or engraving of the sculpture in there, and just a lion. Here's the flag of the Confederacy, a lion laying down, just honoring the unknown dead of the Confederacy. And this seemed like a pretty good subject for black and white and the square format. I shot. I still got half a roll of film in the camera. I need to finish up that roll, but essentially 18 images. I shot 12 on this roll and then 6 on the half done roll at the cemetery. So I'll be interested to see once I develop that other roll. But they're both Acros, 100 speed, and yeah, the square format of the roll accord seems to be pretty good fit for this type of thing. So black and white, and then this was a color image of a different section of the cemetery. This is a burial plot for the Waldo family, and I shot this with the T3i with the 15 to 85. Shot it at 15 millimeters, so fairly wide angle. Aperture priority, ISO 100, f6.3, and nice color. The trees were just leafing out. These bushes were blooming. Had the brick going up to the marble steps going into the garden. There's a headstone there, a couple more monuments for Waldo family members. Really blue sky. I basically took this and brought it into Lightroom, and then did some editing in Color Effects Pro, and used a setting.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jeez. Yeah, one of those salesmen couldn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Bring them in. Get them on. But I was just talking about the image from the cemetery that I shot last week.
Oh, yeah. Let me go to that.
But I dropped this into Color Effects Pro. Did some tonal contrast.
That does a good job, doesn't it?
Some clarity. Yeah. I mean, it's I've got a preset down that works pretty good. The little bit of saturation, low vibrance, clarity, detail. I got a little bit more detail in the rocks here of the steps. The sky was pretty darn blue. I mean, there was not a cloud in the sky, so I didn't have to do too much to the sky. I increased the saturation, so I got a little bit more color in the trees here. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Color Effects Pro. It does a good job.
Yeah. What about? Have you tried that whole suite? Do you like it?
Yeah, I have the whole suite. I use primarily the HDR effects, for HDR stuff, color effects. The sharpener works pretty well. Yeah, I mean, I use primarily the color effects and the HDR effects. I've used the sharpener. The Viveza is neat for spot adjustments. It does a really good job of just picking a particular spot in an image and adjusting it to your heart's content. So, yeah, it was good. And this was, I dumped it into Lightroom, exported it over to Color Effects, and 30 seconds later, I got this pretty much. So, real easy and straightforward to do it.
Has there been any updates to Silver Effects Pro at all?
Yes, they updated it maybe at the very end of last year or beginning of this year, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Yeah, they didn't up. They came out with a major update last fall, and then they did another little minor one, I think, right at the end of the year, or
Oh,
January
okay.
of this year.
Okay.
But yeah, that's. I don't do a lot. I don't use a lot of that because if I do black and white, I tend to just be black and white film. Um, but they're color images out of the digital. A lot of times I just pop them into Silver Effects, see what they look like, see if I like it better. Sometimes you do. I mean, this might be a shot to see what it comes out in black and white too. I don't know, but
Yeah, or HDR. Yeah,
hmm
an HDR black and white. That would be
yeah,
intense.
you could do that. Yeah, so lots of opportunities. But I was going to go ahead and go and talk about just generally just
Oh,
cemetery photography.
oh, is that the last image? Okay.
Yeah, that was
Now
the last one.
this particular image that you shot, this last one, it
hmm
it looks like a name right there on the steps.
Oh yeah,
Is this
Waldo.
this
Where's
this
Waldo?
whole
I was thinking of titling it "Where's Waldo," but that would have been a little. Uh,
yeah.
no, but
It's
this whole section of the cemetery was the Waldo family.
oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Okay.
So you got the headstone here. This monument is another Waldo, and I think this one back here is too.
Now, are they significant in Atlanta or?
I don't I don't know, to be honest. They had a lot of money because they had a nice little section of the cemetery that's well kept. So, but
Yeah.
I was saying this particular cemetery, Margaret Mitchell, the lady that wrote Gone with the Wind, is buried here.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
Bobby Jones, the golfer, is buried here. There's a lot of Confederate soldiers. This is a monument that kind of the unknown soldier, Confederate
Oh okay.
soldier, and so there's a lot of Confederate graves as well as a lot of Union graves too. But the cemetery is on the site. It's on a little ridge above the city of Atlanta. And when they were burning Atlanta, basically during the Civil War, this is where the Confederate generals watched Atlanta burn from. They sat up on the hill here and watched it get burned down. So
Now, I wonder what the significance of that lion is. Like, is he sleeping
yeah,
or
he is. He's sleeping. This is the flag of the Confederacy here. And it's just kind of the monument to the unknown Confederate, the Lion of the South. I don't know if that's if there it is a significance to the Confederacy of the lion,
Mhm.
but he's kind of laying down. I don't know if he's sleeping or maybe he's dead.
I know that's what I'm trying to.
And he's not looking very alive there. But this
Yeah.
is a big monument. This is about 8 or 10 feet long, 5 or 6 feet high. All marble. So.
Now, is that a ways from your place or?
Yeah, it's near downtown, so it's about 35, 40 minutes to get to.
Ah.
So not too bad. We went last Saturday. There's about 18 of us, just a group here in Atlanta that went. And um, I was gonna go through some images from some of the other people because there's just a lot of cemeteries offer a lot of cool options for
Mhm.
photography. This is another one I took of another garden, you know, mausoleums for burying. This is the Dodd family. There's
Wow.
Dodd there and another Dodd. Um, so it's just very, very elaborate. Oh, here's one that's kind of interesting. This is a monument to a kid. He was alive for 2 years, 1864 to 1867, and it's a huge monument. And it's 15 feet tall, marble, but the statue had fallen at some point because there's no head, the arm's broken off. Um, just very interesting. It was kind of an ironic name, Willie Young, and he died young. So
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, huh?
Yeah. Um, but this is one of the ladies. Are just a very, very cool image of some of the headstones in there. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of opportunity in graveyards, cemeteries. I mean, this is really cool shot. There's just some neat images. Here's one of the mausoleums for, what is that, the Wiley family?
That is a. See now, our cemeteries here don't necessarily have a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty plain.
Yeah, and most of them are around here, but this is one where there's just, a lot of the money, the families with money in Atlanta get buried. Here's one of the chapels. There's some cool flower shots, and it was a good time of year to go. Things were, you know, April and May is pretty cool. It's kind of a cool shot by
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah, the flowers but yeah, real elaborate kind of Gothic Roman style monuments and mausoleums. So.
Now, when I first started, shooting, and then you'd kind of shoot everything.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a couple of our local military cemeteries.
Okay.
Now, those are kind of interesting because on certain days they put out certain things on all the
Mm-hmm.
graves, and that can be kind of interesting.
Yep. Yep. And there's it's kind of, it's such an old cemetery that they're always repairing stuff. Stuff topples over or falls, so they're having to rebuild. Some grave sites are better kept than others.
What a trip.
Yeah. So, oh, here's kind of what you're talking about. Um, Last week
Yeah.
was Confederate Memorial Day, so they had all the flags out on all the Confederate graves. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that right there is similar to some stuff I got.
Mm-hmm.
Um, God, that's been years ago already.
Yeah, I mean, they probably did Memorial Day. Interesting black and white. But yeah, there's
Oh wow, look at it, even that
bench just kind
bench.
of down. So yeah, just some neat opportunity. There you go. There's a graveyard and there's the downtown, a couple of the buildings of the skyline back there, an old section of the cemetery. Uh, this is kind of cool. I like this one. Gene did a really good job on this monument. So yeah, it's just a cool, lots of opportunity. Gets neat angles, um, all kinds of neat stuff in cemeteries, especially older stuff. There's just so much history there too. So it's kind of cool. You look at all those old headstones and go, man, some people lived a really long time, but a lot of people died young. I mean,
Hmm.
there's see a lot of grave markers for for kids, 1, 2 years old or less, and it's like, guess if you make it past the first couple of years, you got pretty good odds of living a while. But uh, so yeah, so just a lot of history. So if any of you haven't taken the opportunity to take your camera to a cemetery or something like that, do it. I mean, I think it's a lot of cool uh, shots, both black and white and color, just depending on the year, and, the time of year that you go. And I think I really enjoy shooting black and white in cemeteries, especially with the intricate headstones and that type of stuff. But um, just get some interesting angles and just a lot of history there, especially in the older ones. So pretty cool.
Yeah, interesting for sure.
So you're gonna have a couple images from your shoot today posted by next week, you think, Joe?
From today,
Yeah.
more than likely. Because let me see where that thing's at.
Still building previews?
You know
Probably.
what? It's actually done. Yeah. So
Oh, okay. There you go. 700 previews.
yeah, at least one because I'll pump out this image that I'm doing right now.
Okay.
I'll pump that one out to her, so that'll be, that one will be done. Um, I might, I might do another. You know what I'm saying? I'm not quite sure. I don't like to give too much away. Sometimes I will give two samples though. Like two
Yeah,
probes, in other words.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, I can understand why you don't want to give away too many.
yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. You want to keep some mystery. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Definitely need to do that.
But yeah, these and you don't necessarily give away the best right away either.
No, no. Good ones, but not the best work. Yeah, good
Right.
ones that are representative of kind of the shoot overall, probably, but not the
Exactly.
absolute. Yeah, not the top 10%. Maybe the good ones, upper half, but not necessarily the tip top ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The one I'm working on now is a decent one, but not a 5 star. As a matter of fact, I don't even give them the 5 stars.
yeah. No,
I I, I give them the 4 stars and I keep all the fives.
yeah, yeah. No, that's well, they can use the 4 stars for their own portfolio. It'll be
Right.
good enough to help them,
Right.
and then you get the opportunity to keep the 5 stars to build up your portfolio.
Yeah, and to publish,
Hmm.
because the magazines that I've been published with, I got put in my fourth magazine now, so that'll be
Cool. Very
that's
good.
cool. Yeah. So next month I'll be in another magazine. Um, and now I went up a level and trying to submit there, and so they want some images. So we'll see if they publish them though. It's a whole different ball game if they actually, they can want images to look at them and compare or whatever, and still not publish them. So. Um,
Yeah.
Once it's not quite like Glamour magazine or Owl magazine or anything like that, but it's the magazines a stage below them, and they say, once you get published in these magazines, you'll get commercial work for sure and stuff like that. So I'm hoping, we got fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
It's
know,
kind of like going up through the if you're a baseball player, you start in single A, double A, triple A,
right,
and then you go to the big leagues. So it's
right,
probably the same way. You just
yeah.
gotta kind of build up your work and prove yourself, and then you get bumped up another level, and people at the next level start taking a look at what you're doing, and
That's
there
a
you
good
go.
analogy because this would be AAA ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
So,
No, that's what you're
we're
shooting for. You want to get up to you want to make it to the majors.
yeah, want to make it to the majors, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's
Yeah.
not a lot of players that make it to the major leagues right out of school. They gotta ride the buses around and
Yeah. Yeah.
work their way
I
up.
I tell you, it's yeah. Once you start submitting to or trying to get published by these magazines, they want those images not to be published anywhere, even on the web. So I have to keep a tight
Yeah.
eyeball. So pretty much this image I'm working on now, it probably could get published somewhere, but I wouldn't submit it to those magazines out, I would, but so I'm not too worried about this one. But some of the others I've seen that they're pretty good. So, uh, and the work that the models get back, they're satisfied with so far. So that's what I go by.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they're happy with what you're giving them, and you've got some
Yeah,
good ones that you can use, then everybody benefits.
yeah, exactly,
Which is,
exactly.
and as you bump up another level, then the stuff that you're giving the models may be a little bit higher because the stuff that you're getting published with is, you're giving maybe a model a 4.5 star and you're getting a 5 stars published.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what I do. I keep the 5 stars for myself. So
yeah,
um, that way they're not published. I haven't put them out there, and so hopefully we cross our fingers. That's all. In the meantime, I just try to have fun taking pictures.
yeah.
Just like
Well, you got to have fun at any point, because if you're not having fun, then it's not going to show in the work that you do. I mean, I think for something like any type of creative pursuit, you got to enjoy what you're doing, I think, or it just doesn't. There's something that gets into the final product or doesn't get into the final product. If you're either if you're enjoying it, it shows up, and if you're not enjoying it, it shows up too in a bad way.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So
It absolutely does.
yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
I love heck, even this girl that I shot today, they have a lot of praise they want to give me and stuff, and I don't like to hear it. I still think I suck, and I will always think I suck until
yeah,
uh,
you're very talented. You're doing a good job, but you keep telling yourself that because then that pushes you to do better and better. I guess. I mean
right.
that's you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't yeah. It's a lot of fun though. I tell you, it's a kick, I mean, God, I love the heck out of what I'm doing. And I'm getting calls again to do family photography from some of my old clients, and I'm kind of like, uh,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
deciding if you really want to do that again or not. Yeah.
yeah, 'cause it's fun, man. It is. It's just um yeah, when you're doing something you really, really like, and then you're gonna go do something that you don't necessarily love. You like doing it, but you don't necessarily love doing it, and you do it just because it pays a few bucks. It's
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
I guess you always have to balance it out a little bit, but yeah,
yeah,
it's exactly true. I mean, you
and
you
it's funny.
enjoy it, but not as much as the other stuff. But
Yeah,
it pays, like you said, it pays some bills, and you can buy a new light bulb or something.
I'm gonna have to buy a new light bulb, right? I mean,
Uh,
I just, one of the things that this gal that I shot today, she was cracking up because she was looking through my wardrobe and she's like, "This is all your clothes," and I'm like, "It is my clothes." Yeah, yeah, I'm a little jacked up. I buy more women's clothing than I do for myself. I can't even tell you when the last time I bought a pair of underwear, for Christ's sake, and I just ordered 4 more bikinis yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, ridiculous.
uh, that's tools of the trade, I guess.
It sucks because it is very, very necessary, and sometimes it's like, well, like yesterday, it's like, okay, do I order that the little cheap Canon 50 because I don't even have a 50 anymore that works.
Yeah.
And so it's like, do I order that or do I order these 4 bikinis that I need for my summertime themes in order to submit? You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
so I went ahead and ordered the bikinis because, as far as shooting's concerned, I've got what I need to survive. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, and what I have has gotten me by to this point. So, what's the point in necessarily having a new lens when I could have a bunch of 4th of July bikinis and summertime bikinis and help me get into that next magazine, which helps me get my Canon sponsorship and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
No,
you know,
you got the base. Now you just need you're accessorizing. You're accessorizing your wardrobe now.
I'm accessorizing. Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy world, I tell you. But shooting portraits is just a lot of fun. It
Yeah,
really
yeah.
is.
Well, you
It,
definitely enjoy it. I mean, you can tell every time you talk about it. You know that Joe enjoys shooting portraits, which is great. Uh, Next time we're out there, I want to hang out with you when you do a shoot. That would be fun.
and beauty specifically, I really enjoy doing beauty. That is just that's what the girls come to me for is that,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Yeah. As long as it's fun, that makes it easy to do. For sure.
it doesn't hurt that it's hot chicks, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's like 4 or 5 steps down. It's more about the camera, light
Yeah,
bulbs.
oh yeah, no, it's definitely, yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh, you just
but
love you just love to go on and order bikinis online. Come on, Joe. I mean, that's your
I know.
bottom line.
And research makeup and different makeup
Yeah.
techniques, and yeah, people, I've had people that fans of mine or whatever, and they see me out in public, maybe out here locally, and I might be on my phone, and they're like, "Hey, what are you looking at? You looking at porn?" And I'm like, actually, I'm looking at new eyeliner tips. I might really disappoint you on what I'm looking at on my phone if you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the things that come with doing this. It's a trip. I mean, I've got a whole album on my pictures, that is just makeup
Yeah.
and
Uh,
and hair and
the
different
secret
things.
world of Jody.
Yeah, really, man. God, it's a trip. I sometimes I trip out on myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, you ain't doing this, are you? You know what I'm saying? Just like this ain't real. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
there it is.
It's
Yeah.
all part of the. It's all the stuff behind the scenes that people don't see or think about. You
Or
know.
think about exactly, and when maybe once you get to that next level, you have designers coming to you with their clothes and makeup artists coming to you, perhaps. In the meantime, though, you've you're struggling to I have an appointment Monday finally with a good hairstylist. So we'll have a meeting over coffee and see if we can work things out and come to some terms so she can get on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the hair makes all the difference in the world, But when you're on this level, man, and every 500 bucks or $1,000 means the world to your business, or what you're trying to do for your hobby, um, you know, you've got to know about clothes, and you've got to know about, or at least in my case, lingerie, and you've got to know about makeup and hair, and
Yeah. It's just
yeah,
all the stuff that goes into it, and like you said, you need to. You don't have people giving that all that to you. You've got to be able to provide it and be knowledgeable enough to make it work,
and,
which will only help you as you kind of move up to the next level, because then you'll know who's you know BSing you and who's for real.
there is one quick thing I'd like to say before you have to go or anything like that. It's it is if you're looking into getting to wanting to shoot models, if you're out there watching this show, via tape or whatever, and you're thinking about shooting models, you've set up a profile on Model Mayhem, let's say, and you want to start doing that. It's cool. It's a lot of fun, but be ready for a lot of work. You run into tons of cancellations, man. I mean, I can't even. It's draining. I have a friend of mine, and I don't have too many male friends, but I have one that's really close, and we talk about these things all the time. He's always interested in what's the latest model drama, and he just is fascinated by it because he's like, you are the most patient guy I know, because there's no way, he says, I would put up with all that stuff, and it's a lot, man, and it takes, there's a lot that goes, I think I always I there's this one new kid that I was kind of helping out a little bit, and anybody can pick up a camera and go to f5.6 and ISO 200 and start snapping shots, right? It's a formula, really, and anybody can learn how to do that. Um, it's all the other junk that goes along
Hmm.
with it, that separates us, I think.
Oh
And
yeah, I would agree, because like you said, anybody can. Cameras are great, equipment's great, technology is great, so you can get, I guess, a passable image pretty easily.
yeah,
But to go beyond that, there's a lot of stuff that all the little stuff. Like I never knew until tonight, Joe, that you shop for bikinis online. I mean, but keep it
well,
just between us. I mean, I'm not gonna
well,
tell.
see, that's part of being a redisexual that a lot of people
That's
don't realize. See,
that's the
there's a whole dressing thing that goes along with this. Yeah.
but I mean, seriously though, I mean that is
Right.
something that people nobody thinks about that. And there's just all the little stuff, and like you said, dealing with getting the models, scheduling, finding the right people to support you as you do stuff. It's not that's the hard part. The easy part is getting the camera and
Yeah.
putting a card in, and like you said, setting it to f6 and getting a couple lights. The hard part
Right.
is all the other stuff that goes into it that makes it something more than just a photograph.
Right.
Yeah.
there's so many more. It's just like driving truck. Like I would tell people, man. I mean, anybody can jump in this darn thing, learn how to back them, learn how to move them forward, grab a whole bunch of gears. Anybody can do it. There's a lot of people that do it, but there's only so many people that can jump in that truck and drive it across country for a living, and know the little intricacies that go along with it. The dealing with the DOTs in different states and learning all the darn weight laws and all the things that have little to do with the actual holding the wheel and driving of the truck. I mean, that is the
Hmm.
easy part. When you finally get down, let me tell you, when you get a model that is a pro model that knows what she's doing, man, it's like, oh, you just want to shoot with them all the time because they do their thing and you do your thing, and it's
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I think today, just because every phone has a camera on it, and the cameras are okay, but everybody can take snapshots now, decent
right.
images. But to take a photograph or to really put something artistic into it, it takes a that's another step, and that's where it's fun. That's what is the
Well,
challenge.
see, and I just had that conversation. I was talking about an ex-client that wanted to hire me. It was an ex-client's sister that wanted to hire me, and to shoot a first communion. Which, you know, I was only doing it because I was only agreeing to even do it because it was a friend of mine's,
Hmm.
an ex-client's sister. Um, and then she didn't want to pay. I was giving her a hell of a rate because she's a client's sister, and she was like, "Well, no, I don't want to pay even that because I can have so and so take the pictures." And I'm okay, hey, fine.
Yeah.
You need me for anything else, then you let me know. I'll try to help you out. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm like,
Everybody
I ain't.
everybody thinks they're a photographer because they've got a decent camera, and
Hmm.
it's tough. I mean, there's definitely a difference, and you have to, no matter what the technology is, there's still the person, you know, taking the pic, using the equipment that makes the difference. All that
Yeah.
experience and knowledge and all the little stuff that goes into it that makes a difference between just pushing the button down and capturing an image and actually making a photograph. And that's the hard part and the fun part all at the same time. Yeah.
And most people that are going to hire a professional photographer, it's probably their first time doing so. And if it's not, it's their first time doing so in at least 20 years probably since their wedding. So they're always trying to play it down if it's a birthday party or like this was a first communion and a party, or any sort of celebration like that. They're always trying to play it down. Well, I just want a few shots of this and that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, I can do that, but I in order to get things done right, it takes it's a certain process I go through, and
Hmm.
you put my images next to Billy Bob's images with the camera, and odds are I'm gonna capture those moments that you really wanted to get.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
are
it's
you
not
willing to
it's
pay for it or not? I mean, that's basically
yeah,
how valuable is it to you
yeah.
if you want.
Well, she was associating this, which is typical. I hear this a lot, and it's not a wedding, because the wedding is the last thing that they've hired a professional for, and it was expensive. Um, and I'm like, yeah, it's not a wedding, but it is your son's first communion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's special enough for you even to think about hiring a photographer. So, and I'm trying to give you a good rate, but good luck finding anybody for even that rate or
Hmm.
anything even close because it ain't gonna happen, you know?
Yeah. 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 It's
It's
just all matter. I mean, then they have to make the decision. How important is it, and is it worth it or not? And then they make that final decision and have to live with the results, I guess.
Yeah, well
So,
that's what she did. She just was like, "No, I'll just have so and so shoot it with his, little point and shoot," which is fine by me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Hey, yeah, sure." I mean,
yeah. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's got that final choice. All right. Well, I think I've got to go. I think I heard Pam come back from the store, so we got some
Okay.
dinner ready to roll. Thanks for popping in,
Oh
Joe.
yeah.
Have
Not a
fun.
problem at all, brother.
Have fun editing your images. Look for maybe one or two, three and a half stars maybe, to show up on
Yeah.
Flickr.
Yeah.
Just
I'll probably post that one later tonight.
okay. Sounds good. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And maybe we'll see you on Tuesday, I guess.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Joe. See ya.
Okay, man. Take it easy. Peace
All right.
out.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.